Paradise, everyone. I'm your host, Marissa. I'm here with my co-host, Dystro. Say hi.
Hello,
There you are. Okay.
oh,
Oh man, happy
hello.
Sunday, everyone. My freaking throat is killing me. I heard you, Dystro. You said hi. I heard you. Oh, I am so tired tonight.
Hmm.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, you're like cutting out on my end already. What the hell? Anyways, I hope everyone had a good weekend. I had a pretty good weekend myself. I have a bit of a headache right now. Just because allergy season once again. Like I've been complaining about the past week or so. My allergies are getting the best of me, and it freaking sucks. But here I am. I hope you had a good weekend, Aisha.
Yeah, well, working. So.
Well, we played Fall Guys last night. That was fun with Dean.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Dean, if you guys haven't checked it out already, check out Dean's song "Beautiful Blonde." As we had mentioned in the past, he has a little music career. I guess he's trying to start up, and he just re-recorded "Beautiful Blonde," kind of like a remastered kind of version, in my opinion. It's really good. Go check it out. Absolutely wonderful song. Just search up "Beautiful Blonde" by Dean Flanagan, I believe. All right, so let's hop into tonight's show. By the way, thank you guys for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. As we just did this past Thursday, we just did another nostalgia series episode where we discussed our favorite video games from the time where we were kids all the way up till now. So if you guys missed that, go check it out. So tonight, I guess we're gonna highlight one of the games, well, more like game series, I should say, that we had mentioned, and that's the Crash Bandicoot series. I guess we could title this episode "Let's Talk Crash Bandicoot" because, my God, Crash Bandicoot is one of the most legendary game franchises in history, in my opinion. Just saying. I don't know about you guys, Joe.
Oh yeah, that's no doubt. Like it's like crash. It crashes up there with like all time like gaming series of all time. So
Yeah, like Mario and Sonic and stuff like that. Man, Crash Bandicoot has been in existence since 1996, and they're still going strong. Obviously, not under the same company ownership, which yeah, it sucks. But honestly, I think the new company's doing good. We'll get to later on. So I guess we're just gonna do a little bit of an evolution from where they started all the way to now. So basically, all the mainstream game titles that hit the shelves. Talk briefly about each one, starting with, of course, Crash Bandicoot 1, which debuted in 1996 for the PS1. Now, Dystro, you said you had this game.
yes, it did.
Now, I did not. I did not have this game. I did not have the original Crash Bandicoot 1 game.
Well,
How would you describe it? Was it
yeah, I describe it as like a very fun time, but it's like there's always those like it's like the levels were different, which is like no, that's a good thing. But it's like each level had like a different I guess like kind of like feel to it in a way. Um I mean every game does. Um but it's like the levels were different, the different themes were cool, the different bosses at the end were cool. Um and like I didn't complete it all the way through because like I was a kid and I was just bored, just like okay bored, bye. Just like it's like okay bored and then just outside or something or I was playing another game or something, but yeah, like I grew up on that game and I wish well I have excuse me I have um the trilogy, which kudos to Marissa for getting me to buy that. Because like I hadn't played it in a little bit, and I need to. But it's like when I played like the first game again on that trilogy, like it just brought back like so much nostalgia. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, that's what it did for me as well, which again I will get into later. Yeah, Crash Bandicoot 1, just based off of stuff I found on YouTube, just looking through stuff like that, it's a definitely completely different gameplay feel
Hmm.
compared to Crash 2 and Crash 3, which I'm going to get into. Um,
Yeah,
you did not have
two
the
or three
double.
now.
Well, I had 3. So with Crash Bandicoot 1, I believe, comparing it to Crash 2, the moves were a little different. There was like, I don't think there was a crouch feature in Crash 1. There was no
Mm.
slide feature. There was no um like face plant feature, like you jump and you like you slam into the boxes. I don't think they had that either. There was a lot of things that Crash 1 didn't have. That's why Crash came into existence. Crash Bandicoot 2 came out in 1997, which was the following year, which definitely had a different style to it. The game graphics improved just a little bit. It had some different um, it has different game mechanics. You have this, you have your crouch, you have your jump, you have your ground pound kind of thing, or face plant, whatever you want to call it.
Mm.
This kind of gave us more of the Crash feel that we had all gotten used to over time, especially if you guys are like more of the modern day Crash Bandicoot like me. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I never owned Crash 1. I never owned Crash 2. You did not have Crash 2.
Nope.
Okay, so I guess we're on the same page here. But I did have Crash 3. Now, I'm going to get into this. This is going to be great because memories. Crash 3 came out in 1998. I was born in 2002. So my mom ended up having a PlayStation 1 because my dad got it for her when she was pregnant for me. Just something to do. And then I got passed down and now it's broke. But anyways, this was a game that I remember vividly as a kid. I used to be scared of the evil mask known as Uka Uka, who was on Dr. Cortex's side, I guess we could say. Um,
Hmm.
I love this game so much. I've completed this game more than once, and I wish I could have saved because, like, my PS1 didn't have a memory card, so I had to start over every time I finished. Oh
Damn.
man. But yeah, Crash Bandicoot 3 definitely brought a lot to the table. Kind of the same graphics as Crash 2, but they had more game mechanics. After you beat each boss, you got like a power up that you could use in the other levels in the game. Like beat Tiny Tiger, you get a super ground pound, which has like a lasting effect like further down. Like if you ground pound near like 3 boxes, you're gonna break all 3 boxes because it just spreads. The effect of the ground pound spreads. And then if you beat Dingo Dial, you get the double jump, which allows you to jump higher and reach things higher up and jump over objects and stuff like that. And then if you beat Entropy, you get the tornado spin, which allows you to spin in the air longer and also break boxes
I
more
like that
efficiently.
feature.
That's probably my favorite one. That one helps me because like you can use the double jump and that spin to help you get across big platforms, like big holes. And
Right.
then after you beat Engine, you get like this like freaking fruit gun. It's like a machine gun looking thing, like a rocket launcher looking thing. You shoot Wumpa fruit and you can shoot it at enemies that are far away. And then if you get to the end and you beat Cortex and Uka, you get the super, like it's like a super speed like running thing. Like instead of running slow, you run really fast, which is good for the time trial mode that you can play. Because if you want to complete the game officially, you have to get all the time relics, you have to get all of the crystals, and you have to get all the gems. So you do have to do the time trial mode for the. So having that running boost will help you tremendously.
It's like
Um,
I okay. Like I'm not very much of like a completionist. I was never a completionist, and still not to this day. Um, but it's like I I couldn't I could not try to like get all those relics and all those like gems and stuff like that, and try to find it. No, I could not because I'd just be raging so much.
I
I
actually got really, really close to completing it completely. In my remastered edition, which we will get to, I got really close. I could still go back and do it. I just haven't had time or the energy to do it because I've been playing other stuff. But yeah. All right. So yeah, Crash Bandicoot 3, literally one of my favorite games of all time. One of my most memorable games from my childhood. It was the first Crash Bandicoot that really got me into Crash Bandicoot. It's actually kind of the game that really put Crash Bandicoot on the map because a lot of people apparently had Crash 3 back in the day because the popular Crash Bandicoot game at the time. So let's fast forward here to 1999 when the first racing game for Crash Bandicoot came out, known as Crash Team Racing. This was a game I had asked for Christmas for the longest time for my PS1, and I never got it. It's so good. It's better than Mario Kart, in my opinion. It is better than Mario Kart. That is a bold fucking statement, but I am putting my mouth out there. It is better than Mario Kart. I love that game so much. Just like watching the gameplay on YouTube. When I was a kid, I used to watch the gameplay of somebody was playing on YouTube, and he played as Engine, and I literally wanted that game so bad, and I never got it for Christmas. But that all changed now that I'm an adult, which again we will get to. Have you ever like seen people play the original Crash Team Racing on YouTube, Dystro?
No, I have not.
Oh my god, the graphics look so different from like
Oh
modern day
yeah,
Crash.
yeah, because like over time, it's like graphics gotten like a lot better and better and better and stuff like that. But it's like back in the day, it's like those graphics were it. Like,
In my opinion, it's like still it. Like it brings back a lot of memories. Like it just shows how much we've evolved with technology over time.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, basically with this game, um, also I'm sorry, I'm eating sushi. Listen, I haven't had it in a while. Okay, so with this game, you basically have to complete all these races, and after every fourth race, you have a boss race. If you beat
Mhm.
that boss, you get a key to unlock a door. So you get to the next set of races, and it just keeps going on until you hit the final boss, which is nitrous oxide. He's actually not that hard as people make him out to be. He's really easy. That's because I'm an expert at Crash racing games now. He's actually really easy. Um, After that, obviously, you have to get all the relics and the gems and the CTR tokens, which that's only in the new game. I think I take. Actually, I don't know. That actually is in the other game, isn't it? It might be in the old game. I know we have to get the crystals too, but or not the crystals, the gems. Excuse me. You have to get these gems. It's like a cup race. After you win a cup race, which is like 4 races in a row, you get a gem. But it's actually fun. Um, this game you said I think you had Dice Show. It's called Crash Bash. It was released
Mm,
in 2000.
yeah, I had Crash Bash. It was kind of like Mario Party in a way.
Yeah, unfortunately, people like to, no pun intended, bash on this game.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
people say this game is not as good as it was made out to be.
Oh yeah.
Now, why? Like, do you have any like? I've never played it, obviously. I actually haven't watched any gameplay on YouTube either. Do you have any reason why people may think that?
I think it was just because like some of the levels were kind of like easy to get through. There wasn't much of a challenge to it. Some of it, like I actually watched a guy who reviewed this game not too long ago because he does a thing called Crash Month, and he goes over like every single Crash game out there, like bootleg, rip off, you name it, sort of thing. And he recently reviewed this game, and it was um like one of the levels wasn't like kind of finished, like he would get stuck on the main menu, and like the character that he had selected like was just like running around in a circle even though he wasn't
Uh,
pressing a button and
so a
stuff.
lot of bugs, like an
Yeah,
unfinished game.
yeah, like yeah, a very unfinished game.
Now there is another game I'm gonna get into that is also very unfinished. That they shouldn't have even released, in my opinion. Um, but we will get to that. So I personally can't have an opinion on Crash Bash because A, I've never played it, and B, I haven't watched any gameplay videos of it, so I don't really have a say on this one, so I apologize, everybody. But at least we do have somebody here who has played it and can actually give an honest opinion about it.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, okay. I need to get my head in the game here. All right, next up, 2001. We had Crash Bandicoot: Wrath of Cortex. That game is a fucking nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
You had that one as well.
I played it, yes. Because like my aunt had it and stuff like that, and oh god, it was a freaking nightmare.
Yeah, the graphics were complete. They literally upped their game on the graphics. I can definitely give them props to that. I'm gonna have to look something up though. I'm trying to figure out when exactly they switched with companies. Because I know they had switched from Naughty Dog over to Activision, but I'm trying to figure it out. The series was originally produced by Universal Interactive Studios, developed by Naughty Dog, obviously. Okay, so after 1999, they switched to Traveler's Tales. I didn't even know that. So I guess Traveler's Tales are the ones that produced. It says from 2001 to 2004. So they're the ones that produced the Wrath of Cortex and so on and so forth. So basically, any games from 2001 to 2004 that we talk about, it's produced by Traveler's Tales. I didn't even know that was a company. Wow. Okay. Learn something every day.
It's like a very very not well known company.
Yeah.
But it's like they produce like some classic games such as Shrek, for example.
Shrek. Oh my god. So I don't know. Maybe that was the start of some of the downfall of Crash Bandicoot games, because not all, like I've mentioned, not all these games are good. I gotta admit, I have watched gameplays of Wrath of Cortex. It just looks fucking infuriating. Like it just looks like really like rage inducing.
Oh yeah, it was, because it was just like, I mean, it's Crash, for example, but it's just like I played like my I think my aunt or my cousin played it and stuff like that, and I was like, "What you playing?" They're like playing, Crash Breath Cortex, and I was like, "Oh, that looks challenging." They go, "Yeah, it is."
Oh
I'm
man.
like, okay.
I could definitely say though that they did up the graphics on that, so I give props to that. We're in the 2000s now. At this time, gotta start setting up a game.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Fast forward 2 years later, 2003, Crash Nitro Kart is released. That is another game I've always wanted. Crash Nitro Kart. I have seen many games. It's just as good as Crash Team Racing. Just as the storyline a little different. There's different characters in this game as well. Crunch is also introduced into the series after Wrath of Cortex. Man, that game is actually really fucking good. Especially the tracks. Like I actually kind of like the tracks. Like now that we've played them on the remastered one.
Right.
Again, that's another game I've always wanted. I never got it. But after seeing some gameplay on YouTube, it's not bad. I feel like bad for my childhood self that I had to wait so long to play all these freaking games. Now I'm older.
But hey, at least you can say that you played it now.
Yep. Well, not the original, but remastered stuff.
I mean, if they ever came out with like a remastered version of the original, like that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just saying.
All right, we're entering 2004. This is Crash Twinsanity. Okay, this is the other game I wanted to talk about that did not get finished. They released this game very, very unfinished. In my opinion, and based off of other critics, a lot of people say this is very unfinished because there is a lot of bugs in this game. The storyline doesn't quite match up. The storyline could have been a lot better. And it just looks like it was a rushed game just based on like the graphics and just in general. It just seems rushed. They tried to hurry up and release it. No, like that's how you make a shit game. It's actually one of the worst Crash Bandicoot games in history, but right next to Crash Bash. Um, I've watched gameplays of it. I never got the story at all. It just never really clicked, never lined up. It's just, don't you hate when a game could have been so good
Yeah, it's
and you get
like
let down?
yeah, it's like with like 2K20 for example. It's like there were so many bugs in that game and like a lot of people were just like trashing on it even though like it could have been better, but it's like it wasn't because like the sales were not doing very good and all this stuff, and then they just pulled it off the shelves like as soon as like sales were not doing good, and that's why we waited like 2 freaking years, or well, a year I should say, in getting 2K22 now.
Right. Um, yeah, it sucks when you think the game is gonna be so fucking good and you get let down. Is getting played by food, man. All right, so we are switching over to 2005 Crash Tag Team Racing, another game that just wasn't as good as it should have been. During this time, we were under a different company known as Radical Entertainment. Again, I didn't know about this either. Um, yeah, at this time, games were kind of starting to get big, like not Crash, but like other games were starting to get big during this time. Um, this is one of those games that could have been something really good, but it just wasn't. I've watched some gameplay. It's just not my cup of tea. It might be to other people, but to me, it's not. But I've never played the game either, so like maybe I shouldn't say anything. But
Yeah, I never played it either, so
okay, this is where it gets interesting. Um, in '07 we had Crash of the Titans, and then in '08 we had Crash Mind Over Mutant. Now I have Mind Over Mutant for the Wii. I fucking love that game. This is when they switched to oh, excuse me. This is when they had switched over to Activision. Activision took over, started making the Crash Bandicoot games. They actually did a pretty good job with this game, considering this is the first Crash Bandicoot game under the ownership of Activision. I know a lot of people fucking shit on Mind Over Mutant, but I have completed it multiple times. I still have my save files and everything. It's fun. I love it. Oh, excuse me. However, I've never played Crash of the Titans, which came out the year before, which also was another kind of introduction to the gaming process of Activision. We kind of got to see an insight of how Mind Over Mutant was going to be, and it's actually not bad, to be honest. And they also released a DS version apparently of these games, which is a little weird, playing on a DS with like literally the shittiest fucking graphics. Like the original DS and the original DSi, like literally the shittiest graphics right there. But
mm.
at the time, it was something big. So after 2008, things kind of got a little quiet in the Crash Bandicoot world. Yeah, you had your knockoff games that people were producing online. Like it's just not the same as the original stuff made by the companies themselves. However, fast forward about 9 years later, Crash Bandicoot's company had announced that they are remastering not just one game, but all three of the first three original Crash Bandicoot games that came out in the 90s. So they announced that they were doing a remaster known as the Insane Trilogy. That was released in 2017. Now, me and Dystro both have this game, and let me tell you, it literally fulfills my childhood dreams and more.
Mm-hmm.
However, I can't fucking finish Crash 1 or Crash 2. They're fucking hard for me. I've already finished Crash 3 multiple times on this freaking disc.
Whereas, like, I think I could probably finish Crash 1, but then I would probably be dabbling into Crash 2 and Crash 3 of like, okay, how do I finish Crash 3, Marissa? How?
It's actually easy because you, like I said, you get all the power ups after beating every boss. Like each boss you beat, you get a different power up. It makes it so much easier. But Crash 1 and Crash 2, maybe it's because I played Crash 3 before the other two in my lifetime. So maybe that's why I find the first two games harder because there's no power ups.
Right.
Um, but man, Insane Trilogy. This is when they had switched over. Wait, did they switch over at this time? Let me see. Vicarious Visions. Yes, they switched over to Vicarious Visions in 2017. And let me tell you, they did a really good job with the remaster. Everything
Mm,
is literally just as I
crisp.
expected it to be.
They
Okay.
feel crisp.
Whew, I have the hiccups. But yeah, that game is like fucking phenomenal. I'm so glad I have it. It's actually one of the first games I bought when I got my Xbox One in 2020. So yeah, I was so
And it's
excited to
like,
play it.
and I bought that in trilogy like not too long ago, like a few months ago too.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm due to get back on it. It's been a little bit. Um, so we also fast forward a couple years later to 2019, where once again the Crash Bandicoot company had announced they're also doing a remaster for the Crash Team Racing game that came out in 1999 and the Crash Nitro Kart game that dropped in 2003. They were going to combine the two games and put it into one huge remaster. Now, this dropped in 2019. We both also have this game.
Yes.
And again, this fulfills my childhood dreams even more because, as I previously mentioned, I'd always wanted to get the two original racing games for Crash Bandicoot. I never did. Now I have the remastered edition of both of them, and it's like amazing. Now you may be thinking, did they put what is the story mode like? So with the story mode, it's only the story mode for Crash Team. They did not add the story mode from Nitro Kart. I'm not sure why they did that. They should have had an option where you could pick which story mode you want to do first. But unfortunately, they did not. But it's okay, because you can go and play the Nitro Kart tracks on this game by going online and playing with other people, making a private session, or just doing a local, a local session just with AIs. It's actually pretty fucking cool. And they also have the like exclusive tracks that are only exclusive to this remaster that Beanox and Vicarious Visions had made themselves. So that's pretty fucking cool. And they also have a whole bunch of characters too you could pick from. Some of them, once again, are only exclusive to this game. They aren't in the original games. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's like I hadn't played like any of the Crash Team Racing like games at all. And so like getting used to controls and stuff like that, it kind of feels like I just had played it for the first time back in the day, sort of thing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's just like just felt like right at ease and stuff like that. But like some of the power ups, like it just fucks you over sometimes. like
Yeah.
those rockets.
What I like is we can play online. They added the online feature so you can play with other people. That is cool. They didn't have that in the previous games.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think we may be done, but we're not. Not quite yet. We have one more game. So, once again, we fast forward to the following year, 2020, during the pandemic. Crash Bandicoot company announced that they are releasing a Crash Bandicoot 4. Now, this whole time, I thought Wrath of Cortex was Crash Bandicoot 4, but I guess it was not. So, they released Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time in 2020. I do not have this game. Um, I am on the fence about it, whether I want to get it or not in the future and try it out. It looks a little difficult. I have seen some gameplay on YouTube. People have raged the fuck out.
Hmm. Yeah, I've seen that too, and it's like that's what makes me worried because it's like as soon as we start playing it, like first thing in, I could just see you being like, "Son of a bitch," and you just
Yup. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that Crash is still in existence. Considering they started back in the 1990s and it's now 2022. I wonder what's next for Crash, to be honest. I seriously do. I wonder what is next for them.
I mean, time will tell at
Like,
this point.
I would like to see. a finished version of Crash Twinsanity. Like a remastered version of that game that completed in its entirety. Because that game could have been something great. It really could have. It had the potential. It's just, it was a rushed game.
It's like we need to tweet about this, being like, okay, you guys need to finish this. You gotta remaster this.
Well, especially considering it's Vicarious Visions now. Like, they're doing a good job with the remasters in Crash 4. Like, it gives you
True.
hope that they could probably do something with Twinsanity. I don't know. Just giving, like, suggestions. Like, honestly, if I were to pick one game to get finished or remastered, it needs to be Twinsanity. It could have been something great.
Well, you heard it.
What do you think? Like, what do you think should be a game that they should either finish or remaster?
If I had to pick, I would say maybe Crash Bash, only because of like it just didn't look finished. And
Right.
Crash Bash to me it was like, it was my way of saying, like Mario Party for example, but it's like it just didn't look finished. Like there was like a lot of bugs in that game. And like if they ever came out with a remastered, game of it, I might play it. And
Yeah.
and it's just like, the nostalgic feels will come back to me being like, oh yeah, I remember this level. Oh fuck. And it's just like, it just falls off the map. It's just like, damn it.
Oh God. But yeah, you heard it here, folks. That is our episode. Let's talk Crash Bandicoot, the evolution of the games. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know in the comments what your favorite Crash Bandicoot or even now, and what you guys think is next for the Crash Bandicoot franchise. All right, so I suppose I better figure out what we're doing for Thursday. Um, man, you know what? I guess we could try and do this. Let's start the breakdown series that I had mentioned. If you guys don't recall, I mentioned about a few weeks ago that I'd like to start a series on this pod called The Breakdown, which is where we take an album and we break it down song by song and we rank the album on a scale from 1 to 10 at the end. And we can also rank the songs if you want to. We could talk about the meanings, like not really the meanings, but like talk about the songs in general, like how we felt listening to these songs for the first time.
Mm.
So let's start with a classic. Let's start with an easy one. So this Thursday on the Reckless Paradise podcast, we will be starting the Breakdown series. The first episode will be called The Breakdown, Back in Black. We are going all the way back to 1980 when AC/DC dropped Back in Black following the death of lead singer Bon Scott. Now, as you guys know, Brian Johnson took over after this, and they released Back in Black, which was kind of a tribute to Bon Scott. So, this Thursday, if you guys are interested in AC/DC stuff, be sure to listen because we will be doing the breakdown of the full album from start to finish, where we basically talk about every single song on the album, rank them, rank all the songs, and then even rank the album. It's gonna be fun, you know.
Yeah.
And what a way to
This is
start with AC/DC, like classic.
yeah, this is gonna be very interesting and very fun because it's like, as many of our viewers know, it's like we are music fanatics, and we love all kinds of music, and ACDC is just one of those bands. It's like it's just timeless. So
Oh, for sure. But yeah, this series is going to be ongoing as there are a lot of albums that we can talk about on this show.
yeah.
All right, so if you guys stuck around to the very end, we greatly appreciate your support. As per usual, be sure to follow us on our social media by clicking on the link in the description below, which has everything you need, such as TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, Twitter. What else? Oh yeah, Dystro's gaming channel on YouTube, which you guys should go check out. He does a lot of gaming stuff there, uploads some funny clips from Xbox and stuff like that. So be sure to go follow us on social media to also keep up to date on the podcast in case we have technical difficulties or we cannot upload. Oh yeah, that's right. Forgot about Song of the Night. So since Dystro got last time's pick, I guess I have a pick now. in honor of the first show of the Taylor Hawkins memorial concert, I decided to go with a Foo Fighters song for tonight's Song of the Night. So, up at the top right hand of the corner at the end of this episode, you will find our Song of the Night, which is My Hero by the Foo Fighters. If you guys don't already know, they are doing two tribute shows, tribute concerts where they have guest stars appearing on the show in honor of Taylor Hawkins, who had tragically passed away earlier this year. So yeah, that's it. uh, Obviously, rest in peace to Taylor Hawkins,
Yeah.
and I really want to find a way to um, watch these shows online. They just did a show yesterday. They did the first show. The other one's at the end of this month. I'd like to find a way to watch them. So if anybody has any clue on how to watch them online, please let me know in the comments or message me or something, because I am dying to find a link to where I can watch it.
Yeah.
All right, so be sure to go listen to our song by the Foo Fighters. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you guys this Thursday for the next episode. Peace.
Peace.